Australia. I first had the opportunity to visit here back in 2002 when I fell in love with this place. And one of the things, it's urban, it's up and coming, it's clean, it's incredible.
I had had the time of my life. I'm a little disappointed I gotta get on an airplane in the morning.
The Queen.
Look at that robe, stunning.
In the eyes of Charlotte Flair, she is a focused competitor tonight. There is a lot on her mind, the same place, back on the throne of the SmackDown Women's Division.
Yes, Charlotte, a former NXT Women's Champion, a 7th champion. All smiles as she heads down to the ring, but that smile will fade away with the end.
Charlotte Flair's once upon a time best friend, but that seems like a lifetime ago.
Loyalty is a thing.
I understand heated verbal confrontation and baggage claim between Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair. They almost had to be separated. Things have gotten that contentious between.
And to Corey's point, Charlotte and Becky were once the best of friends. They are now, the rivalry took a wild turn at the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view event.
Becky can taste the victory. Natural selection. Charlotte Flair is champion.
We were best, and you were holding me back.
Aside, all for the SmackDown Women's Championship tonight. Becky Lynch challenges the champion Charlotte Flair.
I'm taking my title back.
Becky Lynch, disarm her. Charlotte gets under the rope, and Becky back inside the ring after the champion. Oh, a spear from the Queen, and Becky rolls through. Final. Celebrate, but now the roles have been reversed.
From now on, this is my show, and this is my title. I toppled the Queen. I now run this division. Charlotte Flair, where are you? Spotlight now, Charlotte. Where are you? Come on.
I wished that there was a little bit left of my best friend inside of whatever this has become.
I just want you to call me Queen. Bitch.
You are holding me back.
I now run this division.
Call me Queen. The Super Showdown, I'm getting my rematch.
No for Becky.
You said that I was second best.
Well, this title says otherwise.
Oh, and Becky Lynch.
Now I am relentless.
The friendship is long gone.
I am going to prove that it's this face that is the face of this company. If the people want to see the champ's face.
It took you 2 years to regain that title. You can lose.
Time and time again, I have proven that I own Charlotte Flair.
Call me Queen.
The following contest is for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Introducing first the challenger from the Queen City, Charlotte Flair. Her opponent from Dublin, Ireland, she is the SmackDown Women's Champion, Becky Lynch.
So Becky Lynch defends the SmackDown Women's title here tonight against Charlotte at WWE Super Showdown. Renee, Becky has started a hashtag called #BooTheWoos in relation to Charlotte Flair.
I think Becky Lynch is looking for any fathomable way to get under the skin of Charlotte Flair, and she's been successful so far, but is she going to be able to retain the SmackDown Women's Championship tonight? Will it be enough?
That remains to be seen. Becky Lynch can tell you, just like Charlotte Flair will, or anybody who's ever held a championship in WWE, it's almost easier to win the title than it is to retain it. Becky now finds herself as a target.
Yeah, target to Charlotte Flair.
Oh, and right to the knee, and Becky Lynch comes out firing. Champion's advantage tonight for Becky Lynch. Charlotte must pin her or submit her to win the championships. Countouts, disqualifications don't help.
Look at this, Becky Lynch coming out of the gate 100 miles an hour. Well scouted to this point. Taking the legs out from the Queen.
And Charlotte's in trouble early.
Becky Lynch knows she needs to come out here hot because Charlotte Flair is so successful in these big match situations.
And we saw what Charlotte did this past week on SmackDown when Becky Lynch came out to the ring, debuted this poster of herself at Super Showdown, and Charlotte took offense.
Well, funny because there's actually a mural that was done here in Melbourne from a street artist that you keep me off your posters, your morning shows, and your magazines while the people put me on their walls. It was an unbelievable mural that was done.
Well, it's your earlier point, Renee, about the big stage, the grandest stage. Here we are with over 70,000 people here in Melbourne Cricket Ground. This is where Charlotte Flair shines brightest.
Oh my God! Charlotte landing hard on the back of her neck. And this has been a vicious early assault by the SmackDown Women's Champion.
You may not agree with this side of Becky Lynch that she showed recently, but you can't argue with the results.
Into the post, shoulder first, Charlotte. And you can hear her.
Becky has been relentless. She has been ruthless, and that's why the Irish last kicker is your reigning SmackDown Women's Champion.
And Becky into the ring, gonna look to put Charlotte away quickly in the cover and a kick out. Again, Corey, it goes back as we take another look, and watch this. Becky just dragging Charlotte out of the ring. And it goes back to this chip, this major chip that Becky has on her shoulder.
Listen, I can understand the frustration that Becky Lynch has expressed. She felt as though she spent too long of her career in the shadow of Charlotte Flair. And the Queen casts a gigantic shadow. It's a very realistic situation. But whatever Becky has changed in her mentality has worked.
The problem is, though, is that Charlotte Flair is a 7-time women's champion. Becky's held the title twice. Charlotte has earned everything that she's had here in WWE.
I don't disagree with that for 1 second, but who walked to the ring with the title tonight, Cole? Becky Lynch. You got to count that for something.
Charlotte slides through, covers, stacks her up, and a kick out at 2, and a big chop by Charlotte. Becky, though.
Beautiful. Into the armbar. Armbar applied.
And Charlotte's in trouble, center of the ring. Is she going to tap? Is she going to tap to Becky Lynch here tonight at Super Showdown?
How great would it be for Becky Lynch's ego to know that she submitted the Queen in short order on this stage?
Add a little fuel to her fire.
And Charlotte, though, manages to survive at least at that point, but again,
back into
the armbar.
Notice how Becky Lynch elevating her hips, putting all the added pressure, and now pulling at the fingers of Charlotte Flair.
Oh, and doing everything she can to try to get Charlotte to tap out, trying to break the fingers of Charlotte Flair.
Charlotte is in a great deal of jeopardy early on in this matchup. The way Becky has Charlotte's wrist bent back, pressure on the elbow, on the shoulder.
And Charlotte trying to make it back to a vertical base and somehow break the armbar using her power here. And that buys Charlotte a little bit of time. Back to her feet. And Charlotte, nice suplex, drops Becky on the back of her neck.
Folded Lynch right in half. Incredibly painful. This is what Becky had to avoid, allowing the Queen to have time to recover.
We saw Becky come out here flying on all cylinders, and it just wasn't enough to get it done right off the bat. We'll see what she has left in her tank.
And again, take another look at this move by Charlotte. And again, Renee, it goes back to the point that Becky feels disrespected. She feels like she has to prove everything when she goes out in the ring each night.
I see such a different look in Becky Lynch's eyes, a different demeanor all around. I've never seen this side of her.
Queen stops, look at this!
Charlotte, though, with a great counter, and now Becky's in trouble.
I can assure you, of all people in this stadium right now, the one person who wasn't underestimating Charlotte Flair is Becky Lynch. Lynch knows what the Queen is capable of, and she can go deep into a match.
Well, Becky doesn't feel like she was just wronged by Charlotte Flair. She feels like she's been wronged by everybody. WWE Universe, WWE.
And Becky uses the second rope to her advantage, delivers a kick to Charlotte, and now looking for the Charlotte fighting out.
Both of these ladies so familiar with one another. It's almost as if they know what the other's going to do before they even try.
Great throw by Charlotte. Becky caught up now in the ropes, but can Charlotte somehow get back into this as we take a look at what happened earlier on?
This is a great counter. This is an example of Charlotte Flair being able to think on her feet, knew what was coming, and inflicted some great damage to the knee of Becky Lynch.
Becky Lynch again with a great counter as Charlotte goes face first into the second turnbuckle.
Both these women just looking to inflict so much pain on
Forearm.
Cover off that battering ram. Kick out at 2.5 by Charlotte.
See a look of frustration already on Becky Lynch's face.
You talk about how well these women know each other. You think they've got to dig deep into their arsenal to try to throw the other one off.
Again, it was a great strategy Becky Lynch had coming out of the gate hot, trying to shut the Queen down before it got too deep. Now Becky's going to have to reach deep into her arsenal and figure out a plan B.
Yeah, both of these women, of course, came up as part of what was called the Four Horsewomen, along with Sasha Banks and Bayley. And look at perhaps go over the figure four, and great block by Becky Lynch. And a big boot by Charlotte into the cover for the championship. Hooks the leg and forces Becky to kick it too.
I can't imagine what it will do to Becky Lynch's ego if Charlotte Flair walks out of Melbourne, Australia with that SmackDown Women's
Absolutely right, Renee. I agree with you. I mean, here you've got Becky Lynch, for whatever reason, has forsaken her former best friend.
Boom!
As we take another look at the big-time boot from Charlotte, Becky Lynch has thrown this relationship in her life away.
Now look at Becky. Becky caught her. Becky caught her, almost stole in there.
In order to be champion, to lose it this quickly could be catastrophic to her ego.
Yeah, but let's switch the tables, Corey. What if Charlotte doesn't leave here with the championship?
Charlotte Flair only knows one way to live, and that's on top, to be the best.
See the viciousness and the disdain these women have for one another as they throw these big right hands.
Egging each other on.
Being a women's champion has defined Charlotte Flair. It's in her blood, it's in her DNA, it's all she knows how to be.
Yeah, but Becky Lynch is a long road back to the championship. Headbutt by Becky. Charlotte explodes off the ropes with a spear. Turned her inside out for the championship. Cover by Charlotte. Almost had her 2.5.
Just that quick. Becky's championship reign almost ended.
Charlotte Flair looks absolutely devastated. She thought she had it in the bag there.
Now frustrated as well. Watch this spear. Turned Becky inside out. Almost brought Charlotte the SmackDown Women's title to make her an 8-time Women's Champion.
Both of these women exhausted. They've given so much in the opening moments of this matchup.
The jet lag of traveling halfway around the world. Brutal hatred that's been brewing for months.
Well, so much has been made, of course, of the first ever women's all pay-per-view event, Evolution, coming at the end of October, October 28th. These two women here, two of the trailblazers that get us to that moment in October. Charlotte, top rope, looking for the moonsault. Becky got the knees up. Becky rolls through, shoulders down. Is it enough to put Charlotte away? Kick out at 2. So many near falls in this match. Step up, Enziguri.
Oh, Charlotte's out.
But Becky's on spaghetti legs herself. Is she going to be able to capitalize?
Both these women punishing each other in this match for the SmackDown Women's title. Becky going to climb up to the top rope. Now she is going to go from the high red district. Missed with a leg drop. Charlotte moved out of the way. Both high-risk maneuvers missed by Charlotte and Becky. Now Charlotte trying to build momentum. Does she have enough?
Charlotte steps over. There it is. Boston Crab is applied.
Center of the ring, Boston Crab. Becky nowhere to go. If she taps here, Charlotte wins the championship. Becky trying to drag herself to the bottom rope and force a break here.
Charlotte's trying her best to sit down to get the depth needed to make that hold complete, but
Yeah, but how wise by the champion, too. Becky not only got to the ropes, but she rolled out of the ring to get out of harm's way.
I think Becky might be using her champion's advantage here and taking a hike.
Now Charlotte is not going to let Becky leave that way as she drives her ribs first into the barricade. Now Becky with a boot to the shoulder. Spear again by Charlotte for the second time in the match.
No way Becky survives 2 spears. No way.
Yeah, but can Charlotte capitalize? Can she somehow get into the cover here? No. She's going to go for the figure 4 leg lock. And if Charlotte can bridge here, if she can bridge into the figure 8, we may have a new champion. Becky's struggling. Charlotte trying to bridge. Can't quite get it locked in.
Becky's too far from the ropes.
Becky trying to stretch and make it to the bottom rope. Charlotte looking to bridge into the figure 8 here.
Wait. Becky's got a hold of her championship.
Championship. And she saves her title via disqualification.
Here is your winner by disqualification, Charlotte Flair.
Bottom line here is Becky knew she was done for. When Charlotte bridged in the figure 8, Becky was going to tap out. She used the title to her advantage and got herself disqualified.
It was absolutely a desperate maneuver by the champion, but it's a little easier to look at a paycheck being a little light when you still have your championship around your waist.
And Charlotte is, she's not done. She's had enough. Charlotte felt like she was seconds away from being crowned the SmackDown Women's Champion.
And Charlotte very well may have been. But the fact is, Becky Lynch used a wise, albeit questionable tactic.
Oh, God, what a collision!
Lynch just flattened the Queen.
And Becky's not done yet.
Becky Lynch is on an absolute terror path right now.
It's over, Becky.
You hear referee Mike Keown for Becky Lynch.
Tempers have just gotten out of control from both of these women, champion and challenger included.
The change in Becky Lynch's demeanor over the past number of months is incredible. Just being around her today, back in the range that this woman has gone through since back at SummerSlam, Renee, and you've known Becky for a long time.
I tell you that she's not going to be celebrating with any friends in the locker room tonight.
Listen, there have gone many changes recently, but the one change that counts the most, the only change, is she can now call herself champion.
I am here in this ring.